How are we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. It is Thursday morning, and first place we are going to start is the Carabao Cup semi-final between Spurs and Liverpool. And I didn't see this result come in. Spurs 1, Liverpool 0. Spurs actually keeping a clean sheet. But yeah, what a weird game. I think everybody predicted beforehand, and myself included, that it was probably going to be a high-scoring game. When you look at the Premier League game, only a few weeks ago it was 6-3. Why couldn't Spurs go and do what they did, last night in the Premier League? But yeah, listen, I said it the other day, the cracks starting to appear for Liverpool. Let's put aside at the moment the cracks that are appearing with Arsenal, right? Let's just put that to one side, yeah? We're talking about Liverpool here. Are the cracks starting to appear? It wasn't a great game by them. They played really poor and they looked really, void of ideas in the attacking sense. They had a couple of moments. Mo Salah was anonymous. And yeah, it was just a really lackluster performance by Liverpool. There were some talking points in the game. First one was Bentancur, opening 6-7 minutes. Corner comes in, and then you see him, out cold on the floor. And then the moment the cameras go away and don't actually show an incident and what happened and everything, you start to fear the worst. And then obviously the paramedics came on. They were treating him for a very long time. And they were able to, get him off the pitch. And, it looks like all is well. But social media being social media, you knew it wouldn't take long before videos and close-ups of the actual incident, were online. And I initially thought, like a lot of people would have, that it was a clash of heads from the corner. But it doesn't look like anything like a clash of heads. And I think what's quite telling is his facial expression while still standing waiting for the corner. And, there's a million and one rumours and questions as to what it might be. But we're not going to go and start, saying it's this, that or the other. What you do want to say and what you want to hope is that he's absolutely fine. And yeah, it just looked like he kind of went for the ball but missed it and collapsed and kind of was just out cold. It looked really strange, but it looked quite serious as well. And like I said, we just hope that he's absolutely fine and that there's no, major problems there or anything else. And yeah, it's that's all you can do at the end of the day. Wish him well. And then I suppose the real big talking point of the game would be the winning goal. Is it Bergville? Is that how you pronounce his name? Young lad. He was already on a yellow card. And then he took out Simicas, and it's a clear second yellow card. It's a clear yellow card all day long. But I suppose the catch-22 with this is people saying that the yellow card shouldn't have been given in the first place because Diaz dived. But at the end of the day, the reality is that he was on a yellow card. And that tackle was a yellow card offence. And a minute later, he scores when he shouldn't be on the pitch. At the time, when the tackle was made, Van Dijk was going mad at the referee and saying, why is that not a second yellow card? And then, to add insult to injury, he goes and scores the winning goal. Solanke, down the line, pull back, goal. And it's another long ball that catches, Liverpool out on the transition. And I think it was 5-10 minutes or so before that as well. They got caught out with a ball over the top. Solanke scores, but it was ruled out by VAR for offside. And we finally got to see that moment where the referee gets to speak to the crowd. It's like, something you would see in America at NFL or something like that. But yeah, I suppose everyone gets a clear picture of the situation this way, and they know what's what. I suppose that's the way I'm looking at it. Um, but yeah, it's a big result for Spurs. That do I think that Liverpool will turn it around in the second leg at Anfield? Yeah, probably. But also the game's in 4 weeks' time. A lot can happen in 4 weeks. You know, the January transfer window closed. You know, by that time, will either side have got new players in? Could, you know, players be returning from injury? The likes of Van der Ven, Romero for Spurs. I don't know. Could Liverpool have some injuries by that point? Could Van Dijk or Salah be injured? Nobody knows. And that's the beauty of the second leg being so far apart. And it's the same with Arsenal. You know, I know it's all doom and gloom at the moment, and we're 2-0 down in the first leg at home against Newcastle, and St James's Park is going to be bouncing. But sometimes, you know, taking a lead into a game like that, it's a kind of catch-22. Do you stick or twist? And then you kind of get caught in the middle, and then you can't shift that momentum. And if Arsenal score early or score a goal at all and make it 1-0, then things start to get a little nervy. And who knows what the situation is. Like I said, the January window will be shut. Will Arsenal have brought in reinforcements? Will we have players back? Will we have players on form? Will we, you know, be in a worse mess? Same situation with Newcastle. You know, will Isak pick up an injury and be missing for the second leg? Or Anthony Gordon? Or nobody knows. So it's interesting, but we can all put that to the back burner at the moment. Concentrate on the FA Cup at the weekend, then back to Premier League action. And ironically, we play Spurs next Wednesday. So that's going to be an interesting one. Love playing Spurs. And yeah, listen, it's big result for Spurs, like I said, and they've got an opportunity of going to Wembley. And if they go to the final against Newcastle, then one team's going to end their, you know, trophy drought. I know which one I'd rather it be. Be a Newcastle fan for the day. But last piece of news involves West Ham. I was mentioning this the other day. And it is now official. Lopetegui has been sacked by West Ham, and although it ain't official yet, it looks like Graham Potter is going to be the new manager. I think absolutely everybody knew that that was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and it does seem really confusing. And by all reports this morning, you know, West Ham's press conference was cancelled, but then Lopetegui took training, and it just sounds really confusing and a bit of a mess. And West Ham have not really covered themselves in glory with this, but at the end of the day, they'll get Graham Potter in. I do think he'll do a good job there. West Ham fans will have to give him the opportunity. They'll have to, you know, be patient, probably write off this season. Just try and finish respectfully mid-table, and then let him build in the summer and implement his ideas and his philosophy in the same way that he did at Brighton. So, yeah, that is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about the news. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you a lot soon. I'm out of here.